And students, welcome to Legacy IS Academy. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the recent project that has been commissioned with the help of Government of India. That is Maldives Coast Guard Harbour project. This is believed to be one of the other milestone that has been achieved in the India-Maldives type. So let's try to understand overall the India-Maldives relationship in this particular context. So recently, Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, who was on his visit to the Maldives, and along with his Maldivian counterpart, that is the Defense Minister of the Maldives, Maria Didi, they have laid the foundation stone for the Coast Guard Ekta Harbour, that is a Coast Guard harbour in the Sifa Varu region of atoll that is called as Uthuru Thila Falhu atoll. So the development basically believed to mark a significant milestone in the growing defense ties that we are seeing between two countries, especially since the last 1 2 decades. The project is also important because it is the biggest Indian grant and aid project in Maldives till date. And the UT project, though it has been commissioned right now, it was announced or proposed during the visit of External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jayanagara during the February month of 2021. So let's first try to understand the location of Maldives with respect to India. So as you can see on this particular map of the Indian Ocean, Maldives is basically a group of atolls, that is a coral reef island situated slightly to the south of India, south of Lakshadweep Island. Basically, if you look at the geology of Lakshadweep and Maldives, both are almost same similar kind of island. And Maldives also, if we talk about, many islands are very close to sea level, 5 to 6 meter above sea level, and thus they also have very high risk of subsidence or high risk of being submerged under the coastal water if the sea level rises due to the climate change. So as we just discussed, as far as the geography of Maldives is concerned, there's not a lot of diverse physical features on Maldives. Basically, it is nothing but a collection of large number of atolls. Now, what are atolls? Atolls are basically an island which is formed by the coral reefs due to the upward movement or upward, we can say, growth of the corals on the coral reef. And corals are basically a small microscopic marine organisms that survive in the tropical waters or that live in the tropical waters. Since their outer skeleton is made up of calcium, lime actually calcium oxide, it reacts with the carbon dioxide water to form calcium carbonate, that is limestone, and thus a kind of platform like structure gradually develop as the coral sink after death at the sea level, and gradually over these coral reef we have the live corals, and then we have growth of plants and a lot of marine biodiversity you will find around this particular area. So basically, when the coral reef develop over a volcanic island or around a volcanic island or any kind of island in the ocean, but gradually due to erosion or some other regions, if island subducts below the sea surface, then what we will see, we see a kind of lagoon-like feature and surrounded by the coral island. So that is what we call as the atoll. It is basically circular to horseshoe shape kind of geological feature. So now coming back to the project. So as far as this particular project is concerned, it is a major step in the growing defense cooperation between India and Maldives. And most importantly, rather than giving Maldives the offensive capability to carry out some military action, this project is mainly strengthening the capacity of the Coast Guard of Maldives to facilitate regional HADR efforts. Now, HADR efforts refers to humanitarian assistance and disaster relief effort, especially in situations where rescue and relief operations have to be carried out due to the disaster. For example, if tropical storms or if some kind of cyclones and all these things have struck any particular area, then this can be helpful in carrying out such kind of operations, disaster related information effort and disaster related operations. Third, the development of this naval facility will also help Maldives to stop sending vessel abroad for maintenance and repair. That means this particular we can understand this particular facility that has been installed by India or that has been developed by India will boost the maritime security capabilities of Maldives, and it will act as a maintenance and repair hub, and naval vessels and the training of Maldivian personnel itself can be carried out in this particular region of the Maldives itself. As per officials, platforms gifted to Maldives earlier often were brought to India for repairs, but the project will now make the country self-sufficient. That means now Maldivian Coast Guard, Maldivian National Defense Forces, they do not have to bring their vessels, they do not have to bring their ships for maintenance and repair in the India. It can be done domestically by themselves as well. However, the project, though despite its benefits and advantages for Maldives, it was not free from the controversy. And from last 1 to 3 years, what we are seeing that repeatedly there has been a campaign against India's development project in Maldives, which is called as India Out campaign. As per the protesters, they believe that the development of military installations, military projects in Maldives is not a goodwill gesture by India. Rather, it is a cover for the presence of Indian military in Maldives. However, both government of India and government of Maldives has clearly said that this is not the case. Troops who are present in the Maldives, Indian troops who are present in Maldives, basically they are staying there for temporary period, and mainly their aim is to provide training for the Maldivian National Defense Forces so they can operate the vessels, helicopters, or different kind of equipments, military equipment that has been given by India to the Maldives. And it is due to this reason, because these protests were considered as anti-nationalistic in nature in Maldives. In the present regime of the Maldivian government, the president has banned on this protest and declared it as a criminal offense to participate in such protests. Now, what is the significance of Maldives to India? Why India is trying to develop so much projects, whether it is military projects or there is development projects in Maldives? So, first of all, if we try to understand the ties between India and Maldives, though it goes long way back, however, there has been continuous strengthening in the India-Maldives ties after the 1988. So what happened in 1988 was there was attempt by Sri Lankan guerrilla fighters, basically LTT militia, to conduct a coup in the Maldives. And this coup attempt by the Sri Lankan militant organization was thwarted by the Indian military in the operation that is called as Operation Cactus. So after the successful Operation Cactus, the strengthening of defense ties between India and Maldives can be clearly observed. Not only that, Maldives is also important for India because it has a very strategic location in the Indian Ocean, because it lies very close to the exclusive economic zone of India, and also this is lying at the main junction in the maritime trade route and can act as a major choke point between the maritime routes of Strait of Hormuz in the Persian Gulf, Red Sea region, in the Bab-el-Mandab Strait in the Red Sea region, Suez Canal, as well as even around the Mozambique. And this we can understand if we take a look at the map of the Maldives. So here you can see the Maldives situated here, and through Maldives we have a lot of major maritime trade network, maritime trading routes you can see is passing through, that goes all the way even up to China. And largely it is the China threat that India is trying to address by having strong defense relationship with the Maldives. Because if you look at here, that is the string of pearls route, which was a route that is said to be developed by China to ensure that it has increasing footprint in the Indian Ocean region. And that is why they are actually developing a lot of ports in many Indian Ocean countries, right from Myanmar, where you have Chittagong port, you have Bangladesh. In Bangladesh, you have Chittagong port. In Myanmar, you have Kiayukpiu port. Then in Sri Lanka, they have Hambantota port. Similarly, in Cambodia, Thailand, in Maldives, in Mali also they try to build a port. Gwadar port in Pakistan. Then they have Port Sudan in Sudan. So basically, the presence of Chinese military is always observed, or the increasing presence is continuously being observed in the theater of Indian Ocean, and thus basically to ensure that its effect, it does not cause or does not pose any significant threat to the Indian security interest. The India is trying to increase its footprint in Maldives. Apart from that, there are many other reasons why Maldives is significant from India. For example, not only that from the perspective of China, but also India has being a dominant country in the Indian Ocean region actually has a role of what we call as net security provider. And India can only address its role of net security provider if it has strong presence and ties with all the major Indian Ocean countries, including the small island countries. Apart from that, also we have Maldives, which is a member of a very important organization of which India is at helm of, that is South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation, that is also called as SARC. So Maldives is also a SARC member. And apart from that, India and Maldives there are a lot of ethnic, linguistic, cultural, religious, and commercial link. There are a large number of nationals, internationals who are working in hospitality sector in Maldives. It is believed that 25,000 international that make up second largest expatriate community in Maldives are from India. And not only that, Indian tourists also flock to Maldives, and actually from last 2 years, especially after COVID, Indian tourists have always been highest in the number of tourists that Maldives has received from all across the world. So all these collectively make Maldives a very significant country from India's security, economic, as well as diaspora's point of view. Now, not only about this particular project, but also we talk about the other important areas where cooperation has been observed. So first of all, in 2019, India gifted Dornier aircraft to the Maldivian National Defense Forces. Then 2020, it gifted a patrol vessel to patrol its coastal areas. And then 2021, it gifted also a coastal radar system. Then further in 2022, Prime Minister Narendra Modi, he gifted 24 vehicles and a naval boat, and also announced that India will build police facilities on 61 different islands of the country. Apart from that, India and Maldivian National Defense Forces continuously carry out joint exercises, and we have a high-ranking visit of officials from the military of both countries, which is also followed by the visit by the ministers from different ministries. For example, right now, the Defense Minister Rajnath Singh. Before that, we have External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jayasankar has visited. So, for example, exercise AQ Verin, that is the major exercise that is conducted between the collaboration of Indian and Maldivian military. Apart from that, they also have practice of sharing best practices and expertise in many vital areas such as counter-terrorism, disaster management, cyber security, and maritime security. And as far as the humanitarian project, or we can say development project, is concerned, one of the major project of Maldives, that is called as Greater Malay Connectivity Project, is also being financed by India, which is total value of $500 million. The main objective of Greater Malay Connectivity Project is to provide connectivity between nearby islands from the Malé, which is the capital city of Maldives. And for this roadway construction, bridge construction, railway bridge construction, all these will be achieved with the help of India. So overall, what we can say in conclusion, that as far as the India-Maldives relationship is concerned, the developments that we are seeing, whether it is in the infrastructure sector or whether it is in the defense sector, these are in line with India's vision of Sagar, that is security and growth for all in the region, where the region specifically refers to the Indian Ocean region, and thus it seeks to work together with and jointly develop the capabilities of friends and partners for a safe, secure, prosperous, and stable Indian Ocean region. That is the joint statement issued by Government of India and Government of Maldives talk about. And both the countries are thus working closely to address challenges including those on maritime security, terrorism, radicalization, piracy, trafficking, organized crime, as well as natural disasters. That is all about this particular project. I hope you understood also the brief background of India-Maldives relationship. If you like the video, please hit the like button, share it with your aspirants, as well as subscribe to our channel for more such content. Thank you very much.